he literally sat here and blamed his mom. He was like, see, look what you did. You made me run into her car. She was like flipping out. Like one day she's like, oh my gosh, like now he said that he's gonna have to get me a cheaper car. That's when I knew something was wrong with the whole family. It was like, are you guys serious? He can't drive. He literally can't drive. And you're worried about him getting a cheaper car? Content warning. This video includes discussions about experiences of sexual harassment and mental health that some viewers may find triggering. Additionally, please note that this content is not intended for children. Welcome to today's video. Today, I'm trying to talk slower. I'm not gonna really do my full-blown podcast voice because, so this video will come with, a trigger warning. So this actually ended up being some of the story time. It still has the educational perspective to it. So I do talk about the differences between narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic traits. So just so we know, this is gonna be, educational, research based a little bit, as well as my observation based on this friend that I had at the time. I also want to state that this video was not made to make fun of anyone with mental health issues or personality disorders. This is simply just to basically, a lot of people talk about, oh my gosh, I ran into a narcissist, or they dated a narcissist, or they were friends with one, or whatever. And I just wanted to talk about different observations and traits to be mindful of just even a manipulator in general, because people are always trying to spin the block on you. So that's what this video is really for. This is just so you are mindful about certain individuals you may run into. Yeah, and also share your experiences in the comment section below. So, because I would like to hear those experiences. Thank you. So, grab your tea and popcorn because today is going to be, it's gonna be a lot. So I have notes written on the side because I actually have been waiting a few months to make this video. Probably I think I wrote this up the beginning of this year. I don't know because I just But anyway, I've been making notes because I want it to be super detailed, and also everyone talks about narcissism and how they ran into a narcissist, but not a lot of people know the difference between narcissistic traits and narcissistic personality disorder. So, I'm just gonna get into that right now. So, what is a narcissist? It's a person who has an excessive interest in themselves, and in admiration, a lot of people can have that. You can have that to a certain degree. I I had a friend that was a Leo, and she was very into herself. The self-love, that is something to admire from Leos. Very, very beautiful. A lot of people need more self-love. But in regards to the narcissistic personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a personality disorder with a long-term pattern of abnormal behavior characterized by exaggerated feelings of self-importance, excessive need for admiration, and lack of empathy. So a lot of celebrities actually, are said to be narcissists. Honestly, but that's another video. Yeah. Let's get into the story time about this friend that I met. So this was senior year of high school, so a few years ago, 4 years ago. Yeah. So it was my last semester of high school. I met this person in ceramics class, really. Okay, so nobody's gonna know who this person is. I don't really have pictures of my friends people I used to be friends with or anything like that. So unless someone just pops out of the woodwork saying that, oh my gosh, that's me, which I doubt they would. Probably don't even follow me on YouTube and stuff. I deleted like all my old Instagrams and stuff because I'm just like, it was giving negative energy. And yeah, and instead of just going person by person deleting people off, it's just start fresh. So now I have 31 followers on Instagram. It was worth it though, in my opinion, because it's like peace of mind. But it wasn't just like this one person. But see what I mean about the side stories? I love a good side story. So yeah, this is why I have the notes, so I can stay on topic. So like this person, they were in my ceramics class. I actually switched into this ceramics class because the other class was just like not giving the vibes. It was so like, no. Yeah. So what happened was, long story short, you know, when you meet like a friend and stuff like that, like everything's like, oh my gosh, ha, ha, ha. This was like an in-class friend. Like I never really hung out with people until like senior year, and even like yeah. Anyway, I don't know where I want to start with the story. I'm just gonna do a basic thing. Okay, so yeah, so I met this friend in ceramics class, and honestly it just was like your typical like in-class friendship or whatever, acquaintanceship really. So yeah, so if we're like, you know, making 3D sculptures, we mostly like would use clay in this class because like we thought we were going to use the wheel. That's what I signed up for that class for. That was so disappointing to realize that we weren't going to do like, you know, the pottery wheel. Yeah, and honestly that class was so hard too. Like I thought it was going to be like, you know, breezy. It wasn't. It was, yeah, it was a lot. Yeah. So honestly, so about like a few months into like this friendship, like we started hanging out outside of school. Like, you know, yeah. This person was like super cool, had a like a pretty cool personality. They did say some red flag things when I first met them. I'm like the type of person, like, I don't know, I unconsciously gather notes, and then like somebody will say something and then I'll get like a cued recall, and then it's like boom boom boom, I'm connecting dots and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, this one person said this October 31st 2009. That's me. Yeah, do I mean to do this? No, but honestly, I'm just like, yeah. I always, you know, I always tell my feelings, like, yeah, I was a doctor in a past life because, like, well, maybe not a doctor. Anyway, I make a lot of jokes like that, but, like, honestly, some of them might actually be true for real. But you know, not everybody believes in past lives, but I do at this point. And I'll probably tell why in a future video. So, yeah. So anyway, this person had like a pretty cool personality, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this person's so cool. Like, what? Did I really want to hang out with them outside of school? Like, no, I'm not really into hanging out with people outside of school. I have this thing about inviting people into my, like, domain. I don't like people knowing where I live or anything like that. It's more of like a safety, peace of mind thing. My sister, on the other hand, half the school would have been to her house. They actually were. Okay, not half the school, I'm exaggerating. But, like, she's like a social butterfly. So, yeah. So, like, a lot of people were at our house. And she couldn't even tell you their middle name, their last name, or any basic information. And I was just like, I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, you know where I lay my head, you know where I live, and then nobody knows anything about you. Yeah. And like, ooh, I keep telling her she should make like a YouTube story time, because she has like a lot of story times that she could tell. She could. Yeah. Yeah, but that sibling would need a video too, because yeah. Yeah, but like, you know, those are her stories and she can tell them. But anyway, yeah. So this person, like, they would in the classroom, this friend, let's call them I don't know, the name Jeremy came to mind. I don't know why Jeremy came to mind, but yeah, hopefully we never meet a Jeremy, because then that'll kind of make the video weird. But at this point, I don't know what Jeremy, any person I meet after that's named, if they're named Jeremy, like that's not the person. I'm just clarifying that for future instances. Yeah. So, Jeremy, yeah, again, lovely personality. Jeremy is a Cancer. Um, yeah, okay, not that some people don't care about zodiac signs, but like, you know, yeah, this person did follow like some of those traits. Like, they were really sensitive. Um, we would call. Oh, I was gonna explain what type of narcissist, but we'll wait. So, yeah. So anyway, they were really like kind of like wanting to hang out outside of school, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, you know, people say a lot of stuff. I'm like, I don't actually think that this person wants to hang out outside of school. Um, so yeah, but apparently, like, they really did want to hang out. So we exchanged numbers and everything. We would like text during class stuff, like, oh my god, did you study for this? Like, you know, typical in class friendship. But then also, here's the thing though, they would tell me a lot of information about other people they were friends with, and that is like the red flag kind of energy, because I'm just thinking to myself at this point in time, why are they telling me all this information? One, they either trust me like that, or two, they tell everybody's business. Why did one day, yeah, because one of their other friends, she was having like boy trouble or whatever, and like, I don't know, he Jeremy was super into all of his friends like love life and like their personal business, which was really weird. Now that I think about it, like, they have a pattern with this. Um yeah. Yeah. Honestly, we might end up making this a story time. Okay, I don't even have time for a story time. Yeah, so Jeremy was like super like, oh my gosh, like he was like going to like this, he was mad like this, the girl's boyfriend would like constantly cheat on her. She would constantly take him back, and he would be upset about this. And then it's like, you know how like you get like mad, like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe my friend who's so amazing is like being disrespected by her other best friend or boyfriend, whoever, and like she doesn't need to be treated like that. But if that person is continuously allowing that disrespect back into their lives, then what can you do? Like, what can you really do? Like that, you know? It would just be things like that, and like super like, yeah, and I was just like, okay, I don't even know this girl. And then like when I actually meet her, I'm just like, yeah, she seemed like a nice person, and I'm like, there was like nothing else but like a higher pie, because like, I mean, I don't really like uh know like this person. But and Jeremy also said too one day that like he's like the, like, we were just talking about random stuff one day, and he was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, he's like the type of person, like what he was saying, that like when he's not friends with somebody anymore, that he will like, he's the type to like blurt out all their business and like tell the whole world everything that they've ever like confided in him. And I'm just like, me personally, I was just like, no, I'm like the opposite. Like, I don't believe in doing that. Like, if I have a private conversation with you and you're my friend, and let's just say we're no longer friends anymore, I'm not gonna tell your business. Okay? Like, yeah. I kid you not, like, I've had personal conversations with my former friends, and I kid you not, their business is not on the internet, nor is it down the street and around the corner. However, like this story time, yeah, I'm making this story time like not to like really like put anyone on blast, but for educational purposes, and like, what is the word? Yeah, yeah. It's more of like it was more like a reflective uh thing. I don't know. I just figured a lot of people would be able to like relate because everybody has ran into a narcissist seems like at this point. So I figured this would be a good idea to talk about. And yeah. So Jeremy, I spent like 15 minutes talking about how Jeremy, yeah, okay, anyway. Yeah, so Jeremy, like, so Jeremy basically said that he's toxic. And, like, oh, by the way, so Jeremy, was actually, so when I met Jeremy had a boyfriend, a secret boyfriend, because Jeremy wasn't out to his, like, family yet, okay? So Jeremy was like talking about like this. Jeremy basically didn't really like this guy like that. Jeremy was more so caught up in the fact that Jeremy had a boyfriend and like, you know, the idea of a relationship, being in love with the idea of love. But yeah, but too toxic to actually experience love or quality friendships. Like, hello. Okay, let's talk about Jeremy's mom. So the first day we hung out outside of school, Jeremy's mom, oh my gosh, very, very, like, pretty lady. Like, she literally, oh my gosh. That's another thing, though, too. Jeremy's mom, her birthday was, like, 2 days before mine. So, yeah. And then on top, so she's, like, yeah, a Capricorn queen. So I was like, oh my gosh, no way. And Jeremy likes to hype up things and like tell stories and like not gaslight people, love bomb people. That's Jeremy's thing. Jeremy has this rinse and repeat process on how to gather new friends. It's literally a recruiting service. I kid you not. The stuff is like, I kid you not. If we go and like see what Jeremy is up to today, I kid you not, they'll be doing the same exact stuff. No evolution in personality. This is literally like Jeremy's a walking case study, I kid you not. Yeah. So Jeremy's mom too, she really thick accent because like they're from another like country, Canada. So I'll say that they're from Canada, and yeah, like, you know, the first initial impression, like, super loving, kind, bubbly people. Yeah, so like Jeremy and I really bonded over the fact that we had like a lot of similarities, which I still do believe that like there's a lot of similarities between like Jeremy actually has a lot of traits that like one of my siblings have. My sister, they're like, oh, you for us toxic. People that are similar don't like to be friends. Like, they could really be friends. I'm just like, why were we friends? Like, you should have been friends with her. Like, you guys seem like the kind of people that would be like this, you know? Everybody has toxic family members. I mean, like, seriously. And that's something that we all need to, like, you know, have more videos and conversations about. But anyway, back on topic. So, yeah. So, Jeremy's mom, like, instantly comes in talking about, like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like, just getting to know my mom and everything. Like, they're having good conversation. And, like, yeah. So, Jeremy, literally, the first day we met, she was talking about Jeremy's father and how, like, they recently got a separation. That was also something that Jeremy and I talked about, too, because Jeremy just randomly said, like, oh my gosh, like, at school, we were in ceramics class, she's giving me the tea about his home life, talking about, like, oh, my mom kicked my dad out of the house, so now he's living in an apartment, and ended up moving to Chicago. And, yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I feel so sad for you, because most people are sad when their parents divorce or separate, because, like, you know, they're used to a 2-parent household, but Jeremy was, like, really chill about it and stuff like that, and, like, after, like, getting to know, like, Jeremy and his family, like, more, Jeremy's mom, oh yeah, that's another thing, so Jeremy had the secret boyfriend because his mom was, like, kind of, like, she's not homophobic, but she she believed that like Jeremy just did not like Jeremy was lost in the sauce. That's what she believes. She believes that Jeremy was lost in the sauce. And Jeremy was like, "No, this is me. I'm gay, mom." Like that's Jeremy, yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, honestly, I kid you not. Like my initial impression, like some people call it gaydar or whatever, I don't know. Psychic intuition for me. Yeah. Jeremy was giving bisexual vibes. Like he really was. And I'm just like, not by the dress or anything. Like if you look at him you say definitely he's gay for sure, but I'm just like I don't know. Like yeah, so he was giving like bisexual. Closer to the end of the school year, I noticed Jeremy started like changing his outfits and like, you know, because he literally used to wear like monster truck shirts. Oh my gosh, Jeremy was like a sophomore, but he said that he was actually a grade above because of like, I don't know, something happened in Canada. We have so many people from like different countries at this school, and they were like, "Oh yeah, they actually made me stay back a grade, or they pushed me up a grade because of how school was in my other country." Or like, yeah, and I'm just like, that is so cool. That is so cool. But honestly, it's like honestly in a way, because like I had this Indian friend too, and she was saying that like she's super smart, right? And her brother were actually in the same grade like back in India, and then they made her actually stay back a grade because one, she was like I guess really small, and they were just kind of like worried about her like social development, and they didn't want her to feel like left out and stuff like that, I guess. Because, like, you know, like, sometimes when younger kids are around, like, a lot of older people, they feel, like, a need to prove themselves. And oftentimes, most things about adulting or growing up is revolving around, like, you know, drugs, alcohol, you know, things like that. So, and just peer pressure in general to just do things that you normally wouldn't, or feel the need to do in order to gain approval from your peers. So, yeah. Which that's basically peer pressure. Okay, so I went to go see this one like movie or whatever. I saw this movie with two friends. I saw this movie with my one friend. We'll call her Penelope. She's probably gonna get a new name if I make a different story time about her in the future. I don't know, Penelope just came up into mine. Anyway, so I went to go see this movie with Penelope, and yeah, then I went to go see this movie again. I swear I saw this movie like twice. It was Us. And the second time I saw this movie with Jeremy, and I noticed a number 1111, and I kept seeing that number 1111 like the previous semester, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh." It was all over Instagram. People were like reposting it, like, "Oh, I keep seeing 1111." Everybody and their mother was seeing 1111, including me, and I was just like, what does this mean? And then I was asking Jeremy, like, Jeremy, what does 1111 mean? Because I figured he's a social butterfly. You would know, right? And Jeremy was like, oh, that's just something you post with your friends when you're with your friends and you see the number. And I'm just like, that don't even sound right. Like, at all. Like, not at all. Long story short, I ended up having, like, a spiritual awakening, which it wasn't really much of a spiritual awakening. It was more of, like, connecting the dots. Because, yeah, for my life and, like, whoosh. The amount of research I learned and, like, delve into, like, my grandmother thought I had a secret boyfriend when I would stay with my grandparents every summer pretty much since, like, I don't even know, like, elementary school, like, forever. And, yeah. I believe in quality time with the, you know, family and the grandparents, you know, it's amazing. Uh-huh. And, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, she thought I had a secret boyfriend, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, no, no. I literally stayed up all night like researching and stuff like that. And like mind you, my family like is there. I come from like a Christian household, which pretty much most people do. Um, so yeah, certain things they don't really. Oh my gosh, the vacuum in the background is so not cute. But like, this is a chill vlog, so well, podcast vibes. Yeah, so she thought I had like a secret boyfriend because like, oh my god, I'm like the type of person I have like bursts of energy out of like nowhere, and then so she's like thinking in her mind like, oh my gosh, who's gassing you up? Like really, like I have to like in order for me to be happy, I have to like get false encouragement from some random person. Like, really? Really? I don't know. It just shows you people don't know you very well. Like, and I kid you not, people swear that they know me, but then they're just like, oh my gosh. When you have like a family of gossipers too, like, you know how like everybody's like, well, people don't refer to it as gossiping because it's the family, right? But like, you know, when like your entire family knows all your entire business and like they haven't even said a word to you, but like you can just tell that like you have been talked about. But yeah. Mm-hmm. uh Yeah, that's a story time for later. But anyway, back to Jeremy's side stories again. So, okay, long story short, yeah, I was friends with Jeremy from like, okay, so I graduated in 2019, 2020, 2021. Yeah, so I was only friends with Jeremy for like 2 years, and then like I went off to college. Jeremy was still in high school. So were my other friends because I was like the oldest. Okay, anyway, I was the first to graduate. Long story short. I didn't really know anything about like narcissists or anything then, but like I noticed that like Jeremy had like some it wasn't it wasn't really like weird or anything. I just noticed Jeremy. Here's the thing. I like to when I'm like friends with a person, I really like to get to know who I'm hanging out with because that like says so much about a person, especially the way that they treat people. Jeremy, however, he even like when he would like talk about his other friends, like for example, Jeremy like ran away one day for like 3 hours. Like really, you know Jeremy's gonna come right back home talking about, oh, I need a hot shower. Jeremy's very dramatic sometimes, like, oh my gosh. And then like, but they want everyone to make like, you know, feel they want everyone to feel with them, but they can't they don't really have like real empathy for other people. So it's like, Jeremy, like, you know, like this is not making sense. Yes. Okay, so when Jeremy ran away, like everybody and their mother, the like, you know, Jeremy's mom was texting everybody that he knew or that she has met because Jeremy's mom is like so like she's like the cool mom. She reminds me a lot of like my grandmother. Like they have like cool mom energy. Yeah, like a very nurturing. They're the type to like host family gatherings and um what's it called? Like when people come over, like when their kids like friends come over and stuff like that, like people they're the personalities that like really um people take a liking to them. Like they have like really like strong mother qualities and nurturing energy that like what kid wouldn't love? Like kids naturally love that stuff. Nurturing is very sorry. Nurturing is very important. I thought I pressed a button on here. So, yeah, they give off those qualities and they have like a lot of like similar qualities too. Cause like I kid you not, being friends with Jeremy and like observing his family, they have so many traits that are similar to like people in my family that it's literally like insane. And I was just like, this is like crazy. Like my family does not know. I don't really tell them like, you know, uh like that. But um yeah. So like Jeremy ran away, and like he was saying that like he was like making jokes like after the fact, like, you know, because yeah. And one of his other friends, she's like super religious or whatever. We'll call her Daphne. That just came to mind. Whatever comes top of my head names, that's what we're going with. Daphne. So Daphne was just like, oh my gosh. When this is like how he was like mimicking her, like, oh my gosh, when I heard that you ran away, I just knew that like we couldn't do anything about it. Like all we had was Jesus in the moment. It was more dramatic, like when, like, you know, he said, like, Jeremy would have to do the voice or whatever. But it was just like, oh my gosh, like, long story short, he was making fun of like Daphne for believing in Jesus, and I'm just like, I'm like the type of person, I respect other people's beliefs. You may not have to agree with like every aspect of someone's faith, but that doesn't mean that you have to like, you know, be disrespectful and make fun of them. Now because like that again, this is what I'm saying, like the Jeremy like making fun of her for believing in Jesus made me think like, oh, so like what do you think about like my spiritual journey? Yeah, it's like I wonder, what do you say when I'm not around? Because this is the type of person, they don't like to give too much information about themselves when they're in group settings, but they will talk about everybody else's stuff. And I kid you not, this person, one of their other like friends or whatever, I kid you, they have people in rotation, lots of friends. So they were talking about how like some of his Jeremy mostly like had like female friends, like everybody was a female friend, pretty much, yeah. He was talking about how I don't, some of the other like they were, I guess like they were, some of the other girls were like making out or whatever at this bonfire that he was like hosting, like, yeah. And so I'm just like, why are you saying this? Why is this leaving your group bonfire? Because like if that was Jeremy and that happened, Jeremy wouldn't like having his business put on blast. But it's okay for Jeremy to talk about other people's business, but don't you talk about Jeremy's business, because Jeremy doesn't like that, you know? Yeah. So, but this is also, like, one of the friends that were, like, making out, like, it was more like a dare kind of thing, but apparently, one of his other friends, let me see another name. Courtney, I guess. I was gonna say Raffany, but I was like, that's too close to Daphne. So Raffany, oh my gosh, Courtney. Courtney, so Courtney, it's definitely not her name. So Courtney, apparently, like, confided in Jeremy that she is, bisexual or whatever. However, Courtney's best friend, we call her Melanie. Melanie, oh my gosh, Melanie is so sweet. Oh my gosh, she was like, oh my gosh. And Melanie was like strawberry blonde too. And I was just like, oh my gosh, redheads and strawberry blondes, they were always like super nice. Like, I have not met anyone that has ran into a strawberry blonde or redhead that's mean. Like, I have not heard it, and I personally have not ran into one that's mean. So I'm just like, I just never hear anything bad about them, so I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, everybody's capable of being, like, you know, rude or whatever, or kind. But I'm just saying, I feel like everybody loves, like, redheads and strawberry blondes. Like, so sweet. Yeah, so Melanie, so Jeremy ended up telling Melanie that, I don't know, they ended up talking about something, like, okay, so Melanie actually lived a few doors away from Jeremy. So, like, she lived in the neighborhood, and Courtney lived, like, another neighborhood over. Like, it's some ways away. Like, not super far, but, like, walkable, but, like, you know, it's like, Melanie lives super close. And, so I guess, like, Melanie, Melanie and Jeremy were like talking one day or whatever, and I guess like talked about like Courtney's sexuality, like her being bisexual, and I guess Melanie wasn't aware that Courtney identifies as bisexual or whatever, and so like apparently like that caused a break in their friendship and stuff like that. And so it's like, again, like this person's mouth like gets them into a lot of trouble, a lot of on and off again things, because like they've also said things to me, like there were times that we had like that we weren't talking or whatever, because they assume, it's always like something like assuming that I'm gossiping. So okay, mind you, I had an interview. Okay, so during like the lockdown and everything, I would like hang out with like Jeremy, and yeah, like Jeremy was like one of my friends that like I would like hang out with a lot, because like I was like really close with their family at this point. And so like honestly we were like kind of like second family in a way. I mean, well, yeah, I'd say like, yeah, because yeah. So so like Jeremy's mom reminded me of my grandmother, and then like Jeremy was like, you know, cool too, but like Jeremy, I don't know, Jeremy, I'm not like the type of person that's like, oh my gosh, well now since we're friends, I'm just gonna tell you like all my business. Like, mind you, I don't really have much business because I stay in the house. So I mean, yeah, I'm that person. I was like that quiet person that just like, I would say fly on the wall energy. Like I like to sit in the back of the classroom, mind my business and everything. But it's always those teachers there was like, oh my gosh, you come to the front, sit in the front. And I'm just like, are you sure I can sit in the back? Like, I mean, I'll just chill back here. Because, like, I had some insane social anxiety. Honestly, change of scenery. Jeremy, like, you know, ended up getting in a tiff with this one person, because, like, yeah, he basically outed her about her sexuality or whatever, where she wasn't, like, out with it or something. I don't know. Long story short, it's like pretty much like a no-no, a well-known no-no. To like, why would you even, like, be saying or discussing other people's, like, business with the next person? And he's like the type, he assumes that because somebody may coin a person their best friend, that means that, oh, well, they must know what I know or something like that. And like, that's literally not the case, because they literally did something similar. Like, okay, yeah, they did something similar to me. Like they met my one like best friend for like 10 years or whatever. Like we just coined. Was she really considered like a best friend? Like, not by my qualities of like what a friend or best friend should be. Like, that should be like someone like, you know, like it's a very high quality friend in my opinion. These people are not stabbing you in the back, they're not gossiping about you, and they're not shading you and preying on your downfall. Those are not friends or best friends. That's no. Yeah, that's why I say friend, best friend, because like, no. The reason why like me and Jeremy, like, we had like on and off friendships, Jeremy would always like accuse me of like gossiping about him behind his back, but like later I ended up finding out that Jeremy is like one of those people that they accuse other people of doing what they do behind everybody else's back. And I know this because my mom does this stuff. And yeah, so like this is what I mean. Like, people don't understand. Like, I can watch TV. I'm at the point where I watch TV shows and like I'm able to like pinpoint different things about like, yeah. And if you ever edit a video, like, you know, like, you know, people just say, oh, it's all scripted and made up. Not all of it. Not all of it. Like, you know, some things are, yeah, like, and anyway, yeah, because like, people like to act like I don't know what I'm talking about. until it concerns them, and suddenly, oh no, no, you got it all wrong. I'm like, no, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. When you keep meeting people that exhibit the same like patterns and behavior characteristics, you're going to be able to look at the TV screen and tell and see who embodies those characteristics. That's why I'm like really shocked why a lot of people don't see that a lot of these celebrities are walking trauma and abuse, but everybody likes to trauma bond. Like, that doesn't make any kind of sense. So I mean, like, really, like, but this person's your favorite celebrity. Like, no they're not. Yeah. But then again, the people are so starstruck that like they can't really see that person as a real person. They only see them as the celebrity persona. Okay, so mind you, Jeremy's mom is the cool mom. She's the mom that like people like open up to and stuff like that. Like, for example, and like, so Jeremy always like uses his mom to like, you know, every time he makes new friends or something like that, Jeremy's mom is always like, you know, she's always trying to like introduce his friends to like their mom. My face is literally like burning right now, the sun. So yeah, but this is like some amazing lighting, but So yeah, so Jeremy's mom is like, yeah, like I said, she's the cool mom. Like, people like open up to her and everything. Like most of his other friends at least, like, you know, yeah. But like yeah, and like I love talking about culture and stuff like that, so I would always talk to her about like that stuff. And so every time like I would engage in conversation, I think Jeremy would like kind of like get jealous, because Jeremy has a deep-seated jealousy of his mom and even his younger brother as well too. Again, where the narcissism comes from, a lot of narcissists tend to have like be jealous of things that the qualities that they see in other people that they don't, or they feel like they don't possess, which is really like sad and like yeah, weird, because it's just like, you know, I should have just in college, like my freshman year, and yeah, so my freshman year of college, like first semester, it was still like the same year. It was like first semester of college. I was taking this class because I ended up like switching my major to communication, but I knew I was gonna switch to communication at like literally like the first week or so. And so I was taking some communication based courses, and I would interview Jeremy's mom for like some of my classes, because I'm just like, well, I was taking like intercultural communication. Like, it was like a intercultural, yeah, intercultural communication. It was like a business version, because like intercultural like business communication or something like that. Basically, we had to like interview somebody from like another like country or background, something like that. So I'm just like, well, I like hang around Jeremy's family all the time, so like why should I not like, you know, contact his mom? Okay, well, not like all the time, like, but like, you know, close enough to where I can say like, oh hey, can you like can I interview you for my project? Like, yeah, I'm comfortable saying that. Because like I'm a shy person, mind you. Before I even started college, one of my friends from like my like childhood, she came to visit, and then like she ended up meeting Jeremy, but she didn't get to meet any of like my like female friends. So she yeah, so her and Jeremy like got to meet, and they even like met like twice, because I think she ended up coming to visit later. So anyway, like one day when we got into like one of our like arguments again, he was like, oh, okay, so the first one was like when I was like at his house or whatever, and like I was talking to his mom on the couch about like some stuff that I was like learning in like college and stuff, and I heard you say everything like, oh, because she was talking about, I was also taking gender, sexuality, and popular culture too, so like sexuality and stuff was like a part of the topic, and he like was
apparently overheard, and he was like texting me like, how dare you sit there and gossip with my mom. And so she wasn't really like saying anything like personal. She was just saying like she doesn't really again, like, she's not really homophobic, but she doesn't really believe that like Jeremy is like gay. She like refuses to believe that. And even she also said too, like things like, oh, like she would say things like, oh, I had like gay friends and like they weren't flamboyant. Like, she just hates like the feminine stuff that Jeremy was like trying to like get into and experiment with, because she was like, yeah, she kind of like seemed like she believed that like he was trying to, like, he was trans, trying to cross-dress and stuff, and like that was like not, who knows, maybe like Jeremy got caught in his mom's closet or something like that. But Jeremy is like super into his looks, and he would like pre-plan all of his outfits and everything, which is like, you know, yeah, a lot of people are into like that. Even guys, straight men are into like, you know, pre-planning their outfits and like looking decent. Presentation is everything. Yeah, so like he was like sitting on the couch, and we were like texting. I'm literally, every single time like I've been accused of like talking about, he accused me of gossiping about him or condoning what his mom is saying. It's always about like, it's centered around my coursework. Like, that just shows you how much he doesn't really listen. And he's always like so like, I think like he has like a lot of like self-hatred and like confusion towards himself, that like he assumes that like everything like is about him. Because like there is nothing, I've never said anything about his sexuality. I never said anything that was like, oh, I have a problem with you being gay or anything like that. And he has accused me of that too. And I'm just like, okay, so like that's what I'm like saying, something is like, yeah. And then so here's the thing, so the next time there was a few classes where I interviewed his mom, and so the next one's probably like sophomore year, because I was like doing online for like two semesters. And so his mom, so like the second time, his mom, like, I guess I was still talking about my coursework, right? Because I was like, okay, that gender, sexuality, popular culture class was like pretty fire. Like, I kid you not, it was the popular, we mostly talked about popular culture and less about like the sexuality stuff, but it was amazing. That class, 10 out of 10. There were so many different people in there from like different, like, you know, religious backgrounds, like, and sexual identities and everything. Yeah, so like it was like really cool to hear like everybody else's like backstory and like, you know, what their background and like how certain situations have been for them. So that was like you know, amazing. My stepdad is literally picking her up right now. I don't even think that they saw me. So I'm just like now out here at the school looking like a dodo. Does anyone else like say looking like a dodo or anything like that? Because like I do. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just probably gonna like stay here. It's like, it's so hot though. Anyway, it's starting to get a little warm in here. Okay, so Jeremy's mom, like, I don't know, she likes, so Jeremy pulled my friend, the childhood friend that came to visit him into this chat. And so, and he was trying to like basically call me out, expose me, talking about like, oh my gosh, like, why were you like, why do I always like find you like talking like mess about me like to my mom or whatever? And I'm just like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? And then he like sends me this like message talking about how this is talk about like this like it sounded like it didn't even make any sense. So I'm just like, something is like really like off. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Jeremy thought that he was going to expose me and have me like apologize or whatever, because I think like he's like used to manipulating people and, you know, situations to like where he gets the apologies. And I'm just like, I'm not about to apologize for something I didn't do. especially since this is like your what, second or third time accusing me of like gossiping about you, and that's literally has never happened, not even once. But like it just made it's just like when this repeatedly happens like more than one time, it's just like, okay, you clearly are you're the type of person that will sit here and accuse people of doing stuff that you do behind everybody else's back. Because I kid you not, I have family members that do this type of stuff. They will sit here and you know, talk about everybody else for conversation, won't ever talk about what's going on in their lives, how their relationship truly is, how they're a single married person doing all the domestic stuff and working at the same time. But okay, but like they're always looking at everybody else's life, gossiping about everybody else. But oh no, their life is like, oh no, there's nothing wrong. They have like the exact same traits and patterns. Like it's literally, you can't deny it, you can't mistake it. Like, yeah. So yeah, and Jeremy like basically says something about like, oh, I don't even know what, it sounds so ridiculous. It was like something about like, he was saying like, you told my mom I was into like, I'm only into white boys or something like that. And I was just like, who said that? Like, what? Like, it was something ridiculous. And I'm just like, who said anything about white boys? Who said it? Why would I be talking to your mom about what kind of guys you like? I don't even know what kind of guys you like. Like, what are you talking about? Be for real. This doesn't make any kind of sense. And then he also proceeds to send a screenshot, and then like my friend's like, oh my gosh, just like ha 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 ha, like what's going on? Like, you know, she's like kind of like, you know how like when somebody's like in like a situation, like you're seeing stuff go down, but you feel awkward because you're like, okay, why am I here? What does this have to do with me? And that's kind of like, you know, the vibes that she was giving. And then she was just like, what does this have to do with me? She literally said that in the chat, I kid you not. And so like he sends this screenshot that I sent to his mom, but there's like a whole conversation missing, so there's like only a piece. And then I was just like, I was talking about my schoolwork right there. Why is this set up like that? Like there's only, and why would you even think it's okay to sit there and accuse someone of gossiping when there's clearly more like context clues. Like you go to English class for a reason. Like really, context clues. This doesn't make any sense, like at all. Like it's like so ridiculous, and I'm just like, really. So then I'm just like, basically, I'm just like kind of like putting him on the spot. So I was like, okay, first of all, how are you sitting here accusing me again? It was like the second or third time he has accused me of doing this. And it's just like getting so like repetitive. Like, what's wrong with you at this point? Like literally no jokes. It's not even funny. Like there's nothing funny about this. Cause it's like you're showing signs that you have something wrong. And yeah, there's either something is not right here, and this does not have anything to do with me, clearly, because you keep trying to make this thing like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you're gossiping about me, but you talk about everybody else. You give everybody else's business an echo. Yeah. So that, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense at this point. Like you're just showing like who you really are, what you really do, and what you say behind other people's backs. He was basically like chopping it up and trying to like backtrack after I like, you know, called him out and make him look as crazy as he was looking to me, because like you're not looking well. Like this doesn't sound right. Like why would you even sit here and think it was okay to pull my friend into a chat that you only met once, trying to so-called embarrass me, put me on blast, just so we see that you're the problematic person? And anybody with common sense and who understands context clues understand. Oh my gosh, I think people are like watching me, they're going to like know that. So yeah, Yeah, but then he tried to like backtrack because like after I like, you know, gave him that whole spiel in the chat, he was like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, I think my mom, she's up to some BS again. And I'm just like, and if you, the fact that he even retracted like back to his mom, so I'm just like, okay, so your mom, it seems like your mom has done something like this before, and if so, you like what? That sounds like something between you and her, and then you're making it a we problem. And it's not a me problem. Like, this is a you and your family problem. And I kid you not, I just got to a new location. I feel like I went into too much detail about certain things, and I feel like I'm talking really, really slow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I delete this video or not? But I'm just gonna like, I don't know, maybe the outcome of the video is not gonna be as bad as I'm like thinking it is, because I just, the switch up and the change, yeah. Yeah. And also like the direction of the video that I went into, because like, you know, everybody came home, yeah, and like everybody's so loud. Jeremy, yeah, was trying to say like, oh, his mom, yeah, like his mom is up to like this again or whatever. I don't know. It seemed like the mom, like they have had some similar issues happen before, and I'm just like, like that's really interesting, because it's just like, why would you even fix your mouth to say something like that if like you don't have like a history of this happening? And like so it's either you have like some issues, or you guys are like a toxic bunch in general. But Jeremy is also very jealous of his mom, because there was this one time Jeremy, oh, okay, see, that's what I mean by I'm going like bouncing back and forth. So remember when I was telling you guys about how Jeremy is like super fixated on his friend's love life, and it's just like a weird fixation too, and I'm not sure if it's like, oh my gosh, like you should only like, I don't know, have all of your attention to me as your friend or whatever, I don't know. But you know, I was telling you about like that one girl and how like he like the one friend that had like the boyfriend that was like disrespecting her or whatever, and they have an on and off again relationship. He had like he had two best friends. Oh my flipping gosh, my battery's about to die. But anyway, long story short, he had like two best friends literally like within like the same year. One of them, we'll call her Rebecca, first name came to mind. She got a boyfriend, and they ended up not talking because he was like, oh, you're so wrapped up in your relation.
So I wasn't recording, and so what I was saying is, so I looked up the name and I referred to the friend that had the boyfriend, Jeremy's friend that had the boyfriend. Her name I gave her was Rebecca. So Rebecca and Jeremy, they also had like a on again off again friendship as well too. Jeremy cannot keep friends, and I noticed that a lot of like people with like narcissistic personality disorder, or even the narcissistic traits, they tend to not be able to keep friends. Lots of on and off again because they're so toxic, and it's a part of the cycle. I actually met Rebecca. Rebecca actually seems pretty nice, and like, you know, there's a few people, other friends that I met of Jeremy's that were like, you can tell that they were decent people. Some people were like really like sketchy. Yeah, Rebecca just like cut Jeremy off because like Jeremy, like she probably like really like sensed like Jeremy's like something was off about Jeremy, and Jeremy like was just like instantly calling, like referring to her as like, you know, different names and stuff. It was just like the name calling came really quick for somebody that used to be your best friend like 5 seconds ago, even if you've had an on and off again friendship. And like, again, just show Jeremy as a low quality friend with issues. But like, when you're, okay, from like the perspective, like when you're like not really seeing, like Jeremy and I, we weren't in the same year, so like I don't like, and I only had one class with Jeremy, and then like we didn't really start, oh wait, yeah, we started like hanging out like towards like the middle end of school. So like I really didn't really get to know Jeremy until like probably like fall. So Rebecca, I keep wanting to call her like Daphne or Melanie. And yeah, so Rebecca, yeah, Rebecca basically cut him off, and yeah. But they remember this group was a trio. So it was Rebecca, Jeremy, and did I use Melanie yet? Let's do Veronica. Rebecca, Veronica, Jeremy. They were the trio, the two best friends. Veronica, she was kind of like on the like, I don't want to say that she's like kind of like, she's like really like I don't, would you call someone ditzy or like happy-go-lucky? I don't want to say that she's ditzy because like I don't really know her that well, but like she's based on like what Jeremy was saying, like how they almost got ran over a few times crossing the street. Uh yeah. But then again, I wasn't there. And then like sometimes I still think back and I'm just like, like are there like are like Jeremy and his mom pathological liars because of like just like various things that have happened. That's why I'm just like, like exactly how much of this is true, because like I like what I've seen and what has been said, like it's giving things like underlying issues. There's definitely mental health issues, whether it's like personality disorder. I really think it's more so mental. I'm not sure if you guys heard of like Kanika Batra. She has like personality disorder, and she's always like giving the rundown of like what to like the things that she has done in her life and everything, and like that's like what made me like really get into like personality disorders, plus the Amber Heard case. And then we also have like allegedly, anyway, long story short, I heard that Pete Davidson has the same diagnosis as Amber Heard. And from people that have actually worked in the mental health clinics and stuff, they say that like a personality disorder cannot be medicated. Anyway, long story short, a personality disorder cannot be medicated apparently as of like yet. I believe there's like therapy that's offered, but like also from like people that I've like seen that have like worked in that space, they say that like someone with what's the diagnosis that Kanye has? Is it like borderline polar disorder? He has bipolar disorder, apparently. But then again, honestly, there's some weird stuff that goes on in Hollywood, and honestly, Kanye, for somebody, do I really necessarily believe that? I think that's kind of like a cover up to like put people in a conservatorship and control their money sometimes. So, I mean, like Amanda Bynes, Britney. You mean to tell me that like nobody saw Amanda Bynes crying for help a few years ago, like what, 2014, 2015 on Twitter? And then like everybody's just came to Britney's rescue, which I heard that there's like, I seen a TikTok video populate, and it was like Michael Jackson telling Britney that there's some dangerous people in the industry and like you need to get out of here like right now, like there's some dangerous people. And then I saw this other video, and like Michael Jackson, I was just like, why I commented under this one video because I was just listening to the audio, and I was just like, why does it sound like somebody like moved the like it sounds like one of those old, like, you know, the older TVs, and like how you would have an antenna box and then you would move the antenna, and then like if you didn't move it right you would like miss certain parts. That's how it was sounding. And then someone like commented under the video, and they were like, that's because like, you know, he actually broke his back. And I wasn't really paying attention to the video, but when I looked back at the video, the bridge fell down, and like it looked like, I really wasn't looking at the video until that person said something, and I was just like, what, he broke his back? And then I started like researching, and I was like, Michael has had like a lot of like injuries. Yeah, but he has had like a lot of like on stage accidents, like his hair being caught on fire, the back injury, and then I believe there's some other ones. I think he have like two hair accidents that have happened. I don't know. It just seems like there was like a lot going on. I'm just like, yeah. But back to the story. So I was talking about Jeremy and how he has like there's things that go on in the family and stuff like that. You know, since the video plans have like gone a little astray, I'm just gonna tell you guys, because like where did I put in my notes? You know what, let me just go from the top. Let me just read everything. These are like my brainstorm like things, and so excuse you if there's like any like excuse me, correction, if there's any like typos or anything. So I'm just gonna like read this flat out. This is like what I've gathered, like my research and like observations from hanging with Jeremy. I wrote that they switch friends like water. They tend to have jealousy issues, and all of their friendships typically end on bad terms. Now, this rate, all of the friendships typically end on bad terms, and the jealousy, this person has been jealous of their mom. I kid you not, there was this guy that they thought was attractive, and like they DM'd him on Instagram or Snapchat or something like that, and the guy apparently asked if like who was sat in the picture with him, because he would take a lot of pictures with his mom, and like his mom like looks like really like young for her age, like depending on like what she wears and stuff. And like if she wears like a Gen Z like outfit, like I don't know, jeans and a t-shirt or something, she'll look pretty Gen Z. So anyway, so like the one guy asked about like, you know, she's like, who's that in the picture or whatever, basically flat out like said that he has a crush on that person. The mom wasn't happy. You can just see like the jealousy in the face. Like it wasn't a pretty sight. But then something similar happened. So here's the thing though, when it's happening to them, they don't like it, but when it's other people, they're like, oh my gosh, like they like the attention. They love anything that's gonna like fluff their ego. They love that stuff. Yeah. So one time allegedly, he Jeremy said this out of his own mouth. He literally said that one of his other friends, I'm gonna call her, did I already use Tiffany? We're gonna say Chloe. Chloe has had like she has like mental issues too. I believe she has like bipolar disorder actually. She spent time in facilities for like self-harm attempts. Apparently Chloe like lost her V card to a guy, and like this guy had a crush on Jeremy and told Chloe after they did everything. Like, whoa. And you can just tell like, oh my god, she was like fake empathetic and fake sad for her. You can just see in his face of like, oh my gosh, like would he like talk to the guy? I don't know. Jeremy like kind of strikes me as the type of person, I'll say someone's ugly, but then like you'll see them like coming out of the bathroom with someone that they just called ugly. They're that kind of person. Like they're going to run after like what, like it's like an ego thing, I believe. That's what they strike me as, because like there's been like times where I'm just like, that's really interesting. I don't know. That's not that they actually did anything like that. I'm just saying that's the type of person that they strike me as, because like you can just like read like their body language, like they're really into things that are gonna hype up their ego. They love like keeping an Instagram feed trending, everything. They're never a trendsetter. It's always following the trend. You're never setting the trend. And you know that's what I find weird about people with like narcissistic traits and like flat out like narcissistic personality disorder. If you want to stand out and be seen, you need to set a trend. Pick a trend, cultivate a trend, and like, yeah, make it pop off. Trendsetter. everything that's popular has to start from somewhere. I mean, like, Gen Z is not really, like, there hasn't really been any, like, new trends, at least in, like, regards to, I would, mostly everything's, like, recycled, like, you know, nostalgic fashion, like, 90s, 80s, 70s, early 2000s, like, things like that. Gen Z hasn't really, like, created anything new, really. I mean, like, we have TikTok and dancing, but, like, I mean, do people really have much of a childhood that are born after like a certain, I feel like if you're born like early 2000s, like maybe like 2002, 2003, and you have like millennial cousins or like older siblings that you were around that gave you that millennial influence, I feel like those people tend to be more like creative and like, you know. And that after, I noticed like a lot of people from like 2003, they don't really childhood not existent. Like, anyway, I'll probably go deeper in that later. Oh yeah, oh, my friend asked about this guy, I guess. Oh, my childhood friend, I don't think I gave her a name. But anyway, she asked about a guy, and then she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, oh my gosh, like, who was that one guy or whatever that you were talking about freshman year? And I was like, mind you, I wasn't, like, talking to anybody or dating anybody freshman year. Oh, and then there was this, like, guy from, like, middle school. Like, everybody, like, nobody, like, was known to, like, date this guy or anything. Like, he was kind of like the class clown. So just her breaking up that person's name, they're suddenly like jealous. Like, it's weird. Like, I kid you not, there's like this dynamic, and I think it's more of like an ego thing. Like, they want attention. I've seen them do it with like at least two people at this point. Like, they're like really like they're the type to discourage people from being in a relationship, but then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to this guy. Like, they want to be the only ones in the group in a relationship. Like, they're that kind of person. Like, that doesn't sound weird? Are you sure that doesn't sound weird? So I also have here that the personality is fabricated. They're always looking for attention, don't understand people, start to see through them, and end up leaving them because they aren't genuine to anyone. They manipulate to get what they want, and often are the type to talk about their friends' personal business to have something to say, as their personality is fabricated and based off of what's popular at the time, as well as the personalities of the people they're trying to hang out with at the moment. I basically just like gave like a billion examples of like how they have reflected all of that. So yeah, everything's fabricated, nothing is real. And oftentimes they will like literally say, I remember when I was like it was like 2019, I was like really like getting into like the spiritual stuff, like collecting crystals like towards like the end of the year. Really the summer I went and got like a bunch of crystals. I started collecting them. I even like hand make them. These two I handmade, and these two are like bought right here. As you can tell, they're kind of like better quality, and these are like, I got these from like the bookstore on campus, like 2021. Yeah. But oh, I should probably do like crystal store. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do an Indiana day and just like drive all over Indiana and go to crystal shops. And I also want to try some in Chicago too, because it's like, you know, why not? Because like I just feel like that would be a whole vibe. And like, who doesn't love like, it's, I feel like going to like different stores and traveling with your friends, that'd be like something cool to do. And start to realize, oh, okay, that's what I was gonna say. They said something when I first like met them. They were we were in class, ceramics class, and they were saying that they were like, excuse the background noise, people are so disrespectful, like, it's literally like, no. And honestly, the walls are paper thin. You can hear the neighbor slam their car door when they get home. This is why you can't put a price on privacy. Thank you. Oh yeah, they said, okay, this is what I was about to say. So they said something like, oh, they were like, oh, everybody always leaves me. And I was just like, why? I kid you not, every single person that has said something like that or similar, like there's something wrong with that person. I had a roommate say that, and like she literally said, she was like, I feel like you're not gonna talk to me. Now I'm side-eyeing you because, like, why would you say that? Because everybody that has said that, something has been off about them. Like, that's, weird. Interesting. Like, investigation discovery. It wasn't the roommate that had the guy, though. So if you guys seen that, like, it's not that roommate. It's a different roommate. And I had a few roommates, so, like, yeah. And it wasn't anyone from the high rise either, because, like, yeah. But, oh my gosh, I wish I just, like, vlogged during the high rise, because, like, honestly, like, that was just, like, that was, like, a whole vibe. Yeah, I really should have, but I'm just, like, so shy. I feel like, yeah. You know what's interesting, though? I also heard their moms say that, too. Like, oh, everybody, like, ends up leaving. And I'm just like, huh, like, that's really interesting. There's not one person that has said something along those lines that has not had some type of, like, toxicity or, like, mental, like, or personality issues. Like, just saying. But, like, you guys probably have experienced something different, but I'm just saying, like, me personally, so in regards to, like, their personality being fabricated, they don't understand that people talk and start to realize said person talks too much, which causes friendships to end in turn, which is why they end up alone, people leaving. And this person thinks about this deeply and comes off as empathetic, but it's just them realizing that they're out of everything's out of their control. They can't manipulate the situation. And some of the friendships and romantic relationships tend to be on and off, as they tend to worm their way back into the good graces of others, just for the cycle to continue and the relationship to end on their terms. And when they say it's over, abandonment is a bruise to their ego, but these things may play out differently depending on the type of narcissist and the other factors. They also tend to love bomb friends and romantic partners, as they act as if they are a genuine person full of sunshine and rainbows, but are lacking empathy and highly manipulative and analytical throughout all of their interactions. There is not anything that this person doesn't do that is not a thought out plan. I kid you not. Andrew and I were supposed to hang out, and they looked like they were, like, busy or somewhere else with another friend, right? And I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, we're not gonna hang out, because, like, we only had, like, 30 minutes to hang out, but they only want me to come pick them up because they needed to ride to the school. But it's just like, if you're a real friend, why didn't you just say, hey friend, I need a ride, like, can you drop me off at the school or wherever I need to go? But you know who doesn't like to ask? Fake friends. But here's the thing, there's, like, it's not even just with, like, narcissistic people or those who have those traits. If they have a manipulative nature, some people like to set things up to where you offer to do something for them, so when you go back and ask for a favor or reciprocity, or you think that you're, like, have just a flat out reciprocal relationship, friendship, just a normal relationship, they don't feel obligated to help you out or do anything. That's just food for thought, because I always see stuff on TikTok, and people are like, oh my gosh, why would this person do this? And it's just like, it's just crazy how, like, people, like, act like nobody lies. Like, that's, like, you don't think that people don't know how to lie. There are some people, like, you may think that it's a chance encounter, but it's all games. It's all tactical planning. They know how they want to treat you, what they're going to do. It's all planned and organized. They're expecting you. Most people lie to themselves, which in turn helps the person that's trying to manipulate you. Because if you're lying to yourself, oh no, Jeremy wouldn't cheat. Oh no, not Jeremy. Whatever. Okay, where it's like, oh no, Jeremy wouldn't stab me in the back. You better believe. Honestly, Jeremy, speaking of cheating and Jeremy, I didn't mean to use that name actually. So, Jeremy, there was this one guy. Jeremy was dating this one guy. Did I use Carl yet? The name Carl? We're gonna use the name Carl because Carl, I'm probably gonna have to stop the recording in a minute. Okay, so, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, Jeremy was dating. Okay, let's start with the first boyfriend, like the first like boyfriend. So this boyfriend, I don't want to call him Carl. We're gonna call him Johnny. We're gonna call him Johnny. I don't know the dude's name anyway, so I'm like, yeah. But Johnny lived on a different side of town. Johnny actually lived in a trailer, and Johnny, Jeremy's mom didn't really like want Jeremy to date or anything like that because, like, you know, but I was surprised that she even like said okay to it. Like I said, I don't think she's homophobic. It's just she's not comfortable with like her son being gay or identifying as such. So I was literally watching Bend It Like Beckham, and the mom, when she snatched the shoes off of is Jesminda, and she was like, get your lesbian feet out of my shoes. And they were both looking at her crazy, and she was like, Mom, what are you doing? And then she was just like, I saw you with her, with that lesbian. And then she's like, I knew it. And then she was just like, Mom, she's literally my friend. We were fighting because she kissed our coach and I was in love with her. We're both in love with the same guy. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so funny. And then the mom was just like, oh, there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. I don't have nothing against lesbians. And it's just like, no, but it's just like the mom just doesn't want her daughter being a lesbian. That's it. You know, because they were both like tomboys and stuff like that. And Jasmine does, like, you know, she comes from a very like her family. They're like, okay, if you guys ever seen, you've probably seen Bend It Like Beckham. I don't need to explain this to you, but like if you guys seen the movie, you understand. But anyway, if you haven't seen Bend It Like Beckham, you should go watch it. That's how Jeremy's mom is. Like, also too, here's the thing, Jeremy, I'm not sure if this was like private snap only or if Jeremy was like trying to Jeremy and Johnny, Jeremy would like take pictures and like snaps of them like making out on the bed and then send them in Snap, and I'm just like, I thought that was weird. I'm just like, again, I kid you not, even just like me like saying this, like that just like came to mind. I forgot about that. But that's weird too, because it's just like you're looking for gratification. Why would you send that to someone? And like, is there like a private Snap I'm a part of that you're sending this to like a bunch of people, or are you just directly sending it to like certain individuals to say, hey, I'm like taken or whatever, like to gloat in people's face or something? Because like, I mean, if everybody else is in a relationship and they're like posting their mans, we all just heard how he was saying Rebecca was spending too much time with her boyfriend. You never stand with us after class, you're always with him. Make it make sense. Oh my gosh, why am I speaking into this one like anyway? But that guy, here's the kicker. This is what's really interesting. There was like a blowout fight thing. Oh, here's another thing though too. They like, Jeremy one day like texted me out of the blue because his mom was like forbidding him to, I think that like they broke up but then they got back together, on again, off again. Jeremy's the type of person, treat him like garbage, he will stick to you like flies, like butter. What is it, moth to a flame. Yeah, I noticed a lot of people don't have self-respect. Treat them like trash and they will come back. They're like moth to a flame. But if you're a loyal, high quality friend, no, they're gonna treat you like trash. Crazy. No, and then people are like, oh my gosh, why do guys do this? And it's just, People don't just do that in relationships, it's friendships too. I kid you not, I've been friends with females, they're just like that too. They will treat like a girl that's disrespecting them and their boundaries with more respect than their actual so-called best friend. I'm just saying. I wouldn't personally be bothered with someone like that, because it's just like, if you don't have enough self-respect to know when you have like high quality people in your circle that you should hang on to and be attentive with, then like that's a you problem, not a me problem. And we're not gonna make it a we problem. I love saying that. Yeah, no, seriously, because like you want high quality friends that are gonna know like, oh well, you know, I know this person has my back. And a real friend and just like a real anybody is hard to come across. Like you can't even have like a conversation with people these days without them just like acting weird. Like half the time people aren't even listening to what you're saying. You can have a basic conversation and people are assuming that you're trying to preach to them, and I'm looking for a two-way conversation. I kid you not, it's even in the family. Like, and even on the internet though too, because I kid you not, the TikTok comment section, that's a setup. Like you can't even, I sometimes I comment something and then I'm just like, wow, I can't even finish this. So like if I think about it in like 54 different perspectives. So I'm just like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't put that in there. Maybe I overthink it. But like I'm still, I read the Instagram comments have been like terrible. Not under my post or anything. I don't really have Instagram traffic like that right now. Does anyone though? Because like I've been at 31 followers for a minute. Like this has been like my slowest growing Instagram account ever. So this boyfriend, oh yeah, so they texted me out of the blue because Jeremy was like, oh my gosh, my mom is forbidding me to see Jeremy and Johnny. Jeremy was saying that his mom was forbidding him to see Johnny because his mom was like, okay, I gave this a chance, and then like this guy is like disrespected you, and apparently Johnny called Jeremy psycho. And I'm just like, out of all the names, Jeremy likes to, when he's done with people, he likes to call them every name in the book. Like, okay, not every name. Yeah, just in case there's children on here, no one should be watching. That's 18 plus only. Yeah. Jeremy likes to call people, like, you know, the B word. Oh, he never said that to, like, me or anything, but he likes to refer to this, to people behind their back. Oh, super, super rude. Sort of, like, he was, like, building himself, like a friend group after I like graduated or whatever. I think this was like his like junior year or something. I don't know. Senior year. Who? Whatever. Anyway, he was building himself a friend group somehow, some way. And the group, they're like those types of people, like, you know, like all those friends that are like so-called, you would think that they're best friends, but they all really talk about each other behind each other's backs and they gossip about each other. But then someone that's throwing shade at them or whatever, they're all gonna jump in to defend each other. But in reality, nobody has each other's back. It's just more like, you know, eliminating a common enemy, I guess, or something. It's just like one of those weird things. Like high school never like changes. Like I kid you not, because like I grew up watching, I have an aunt though, I'm like super like, we're like 7 years apart. So like I would go to like the PTA meetings and like set up school dances with my grandmother. So cause like, you know, yeah. And like, no, just like being like a little kid, like you're just like a fly on the wall. You just like hear all the like the teen gossip, and I kid you not, everyone, I have never met a person that actually does like a Valley Girl voice. I kid you not. It has nothing to do with like the culture or anything. I have never met a person that does a real Valley Girl voice. The Valley Girl voice is only done when I mean Valley Girl voice, like that's like the term that they use in like the Midwest at least. Like oh my gosh, like did you hear what Tiffany said last night? Like she literally said that Zach was supposed to come over, but he was watching football and totally blew her off, and she had this whole night planned out for him. Like totally so disrespectful. Like that voice, like the super high pitch, like that's dramatic. I'm kind of like a little nervous. You know, people are not close friends when they use the Valley Girl voice in front of each other. Like they're not close friends at all. So yeah, check that circle. This boyfriend, oh yeah, did I tell you also too? Okay, yeah, they love anything that's gonna hype up their ego. And Jeremy texted and was like, oh my gosh, like this was like summer, like 2019, because I kid you not, no, this was like fall maybe. it was still like 2019, probably like beginning of the school year, because like college, yeah, first few weeks of college, I guess. Jeremy was like, oh my gosh, because like Jeremy and Johnny were like dating and everything, or whatever. And Jeremy sent a text between my childhood friend, me, and like, yeah, and they were just like, oh my gosh, guess what? I just gave head for the first time. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was just like, why are you putting this in a group chat? Like, is this normal what people do? Maybe I'm antisocial. But I would feel like, eh. But then it's just like knowing like Jeremy, like that's just like the way that like it just like, you know, after a certain point, like you just start realizing like, it's like you say a lot of like people's business. You talk a lot, but then you just like, I don't know, he just strikes me as the type that likes to get like, he likes to like people to fluff his ego. He likes to have cool points and everything, even if it's something that doesn't make sense. Because he doesn't make a lot of sense. He really doesn't. I'm not trying to like, you know, be rude or like put anyone down. I'm just saying, like, he really doesn't make sense. But this makes sense. The ego, yeah. So, yeah, and also Johnny. Why would Johnny call Jeremy psycho? What a choice of words. That's what I was saying. Jeremy literally has no problem. Like, he swears, he uses the F-bomb with his mom and everything. Like, Jeremy's always like looking for like a verbal argument. And it's just like, I've never gotten into like a verbal argument. We've had text fights or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah. No, but I kid you not. No, you know what's so crazy? Because like Jeremy like actually like reminded me of like a lot of like one of my siblings, and I was just like, well, the one that's closest in age to me, and I was just like, yeah. Yeah, I was like, why aren't they friends? Like, they should be friends. But yeah, but I was just like, psycho, something's really wrong here. Because, like, why would you call someone, like, who calls anyone psycho these days? Like, you've done something, like, really, like, crazy, off the wall. And then Jeremy's mom was, like, on the phone with, Johnny's mom one day. And they were like, and she was like in the kitchen, so like, you know, we heard everything. And then so she was just like, yeah, like that was, we don't do name calling, like that was so, like I felt really disrespected or whatever, like something like that. And like, I was just like, why would he call him psycho? Like, I was just like, okay, and like people say anything, but like, unless there's something wrong, like there is something's not right. It's not right. Especially with all the things that like Jeremy says, please, I'm pretty sure being called psycho is the least that he has done to someone, because like he's that type of person, like he likes to try and hit like people below the belt. He has a sharp tongue, like he's mean, he can be mean, but I'm just like, but he's one of those people, like he'll just like say, like he likes to collect information on you. Like if you sit down here and like you confide in him, he likes to collect information and use that against you. You will be publicly embarrassed or shamed, or like something of the sort. This way you can't tell people all your business. That's why you just be wondering why a lot of people have surface level relationships, and specifically friendships, really, and then like they tell everything. And not even just friendships, just like relationships, because I see it all the time on TikTok. Oh my gosh, people open up, share their trauma, and then like that person's abusing those traumas against them to manipulate them, and the next thing you know, they're in an abusive relationship and don't even know it until, like, you know, they feel like they're backed into a corner. That's why you should never say what has happened to you, because like there's even people that have like had like just like talked about childhood trauma, for example, and like there's nothing wrong with like sharing information with people, but I'm just saying, like, you should not be out here, you shouldn't be sharing too much, especially when you don't even know if like what the other person is telling you is like 100% legit, because some people are running a game out here. Everything's a game. I kid you not. The second boyfriend, or we're gonna call him Callan. I was saying Caleb. I was like, why Caleb? So we're just gonna take Callan. Um, Callan sounds so. There's so many C's. Okay, we're just gonna do Caleb. Caleb. Okay, so Caleb is like the second guy. Caleb was really good. I saw him on FaceTime. He seemed like a really nice person, but he bored Jeremy, and I could tell. Jeremy and I, like, we were hanging out one day, and he was on the phone with did I say Callan or Caleb? Callan. We're just gonna keep Callan for now. He was on the phone with Callan, and then like Callan was talking about like how I guess he played saxophone or something like that, and then like Jeremy was like, oh yeah, it's like Callan's like he's like amazing, like he likes to hype people up, because when he got off the phone, like he was just like I was just like, oh my gosh. And you can tell somebody doesn't like, you can just tell like Jeremy didn't like Callan like that. He bored him. The fact that he didn't want to stay on the phone, fall asleep on the phone or whatever. And then like Callan was trying so hard to have a conversation with Jeremy. Like I felt really bad for Callan. It was like, he just wants to have a conversation with you and you're being mean. Like, at least tell him that you don't like you're wasting people's time. Oh my gosh. Or maybe I'm just too serious. You know, I'm like the boss baby. I'm like super serious. Like, you know, it's like calculations, please. But again, like they always need someone to entertain them. They don't want to be like ego. They do a lot of stuff for ego, the sake of ego, inflating their ego. So I have a list right here. And this is what I noticed. This can be like really general too. Like I said, this is like a mix of like general and personal traits that I've noticed from Jeremy, but also like, you know, research on NPD. So I noticed that there's like no accountability, there's love bombing, lack of empathy, deflecting everything that they have done to you or others. Oh yes, plenty of times where they have said, oh my gosh, why are you trying to turn this around on me? Like I'm the manipulator. Like seriously? No. You know what you did. Can't and won't apologize unless unless the apology is them to have opportunities to further manipulate said person or situation. That's the only way you're getting an apology. Did you know? Oh, did I tell you? Guess what Jeremy did? Oh my gosh, yeah. Jeremy was like on his way to Chloe was having a birthday party, right? This was like 2021 and February 2021, because I was like online school, right? And Jeremy was like, oh my gosh, you should say something. I intuitively was like, oh my gosh, no, I should go home. But like Jeremy was like getting ready to go to like Chloe's birthday party or whatever, and he needed to go get her like Starbucks or whatever gift card for her birthday. Or oh no, I think he was gonna go get her favorite Starbucks drink, and he already had a gift card, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so I was just like gonna get ready to go, and he was like going to like drive his mom's car down the street, and she had like this like Mercedes like two-door no, not Mercedes, BMW. One moment. Yeah, so she had a Mercedes, no, BMW two-door. Was it like a 2013 or something like that? I don't know. It was something. Anyway, yeah. So my car was parked in the driveway. Okay, well technically it's like my mom's car, but like I was like, my sister didn't really get her license until like what? She was like 19, 20, something like that. Because I was mostly driving us around in like high school, and then we got like our car. No, it was 2019 we got a car because it was like freshman year of college or whatever. And because we had one junior year, but like there was an accident, and like, you know, we're gonna do high school story times. So, mind you, my car's parked in the driveway on the side. So like the house was like right here, and then like the driveway is like right here. So like the garage doors are on the side of the house. Have you guys ever seen like the house tour of like Jeremy's house? Is like pretty similar. I'm not sure if I showed you guys the garage or anything like that. But anyway, the garage was like located on the side of the house. How fancy, right? So like they had like a little like basketball hoop thing that was like in the like implanted in the ground or whatever, was like cemented in the ground. So like I'm like all the way over, like super close to that. So like there was room to get out. But here's the thing. Jeremy just got done with arguing with his mom for like no apparent reason. Again, he likes to start stuff for no reason. And so he's like literally not focused, backing out of the driveway, and then suddenly I hear a crash. And I'm just like, no flipping way. Cause like I literally, something was just like, he might hit your car before it even happened, but it was like a split second thing. It was like, no, he's always telling people that, like, he's always saying that, like, always talking about how his mom treats him like he's new and all this other stuff. And then like the way that he's talking, he has a lot of mouth for someone who doesn't he likes to act like he knows everything, but he really doesn't. He typically always has an attitude, especially when his mom's trying to tell him something. He's always trying to accuse her of treating him as new. And like, I kid you not, I've been in the car plenty of times where she has let him drive. So yeah. So therefore I'm just like, and I was literally in the car before too, where his mom was in the back seat, and my car was parked right there and backed out perfectly fine. And like prior to this, like the other time where the car got hit, it was also in the driveway. Another like family friend, like his mom's friend, he like was like reversing the driveway, and then he said that he couldn't see like the car, and like he dented like the reflector, and so he like paid for it instantly. Like he was like, okay, let's hurry up and get this fixed and everything, and it was like $500. Mind you, it was pre-pandemic, so yeah, labor and costs were like cheaper. But what Jeremy did, mind you, the car is a Nissan Sentra, so Nissan's like taken like a lot of internal damage. So instead of like, you know, the other thing was like between like $500 and $800, and they were like, oh, we're just gonna fix this without insurance, because like, you know, yeah. But Jeremy's dad is super cheap. And like they've said this like a billion times. Honestly, we might have to have like another video, because like, yeah, Jeremy's dad and like the oh my gosh. So I kid you not, as soon as he hits the flipping car, Jeremy hits the car, he like stops. He's like, oh my gosh. He literally like stopped, and he was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like, we stopped the car, and he parked it and like ran into the house. He literally sat here and blamed his mom. He was like, see, look what you did, you made me run into her car. Again, something is not right here, because like you can never take accountability, always manipulating the situation. So if that's like you saying like, if him to run into the house and like blame his mom for like the accident, she didn't say anything that was like off the wall, like, oh, I don't know, like something like crazy, like, oh, I stole your boyfriend or something like that. Okay, like that would be so messed up. Like, no, like, okay, that'll be like something weird off the wall. Again, you wouldn't drive like that if you left your boyfriend's house, and you caught him like, you know, with somebody else. Are you gonna like sit there and like blame that? Maybe you shouldn't be driving if you are not in the proper state of mind, you know? Maybe pull over, take a deep breath and a chill pill, and if you can't focus, you probably shouldn't start the engine. Because I kid you not, a few hours later, when I like left from the house, because we were on the phone with my mom and everything, and my mom was trying to get me to handle everything by myself, and I'm just like, that didn't even make sense. And I kept trying to tell her, like, this is something you need to do this time. Like, I get like you're trying to like help me like adult or whatever, but like this doesn't make any sense, because she literally came in like the first day that we hung out outside of school. She literally came in like that. Mind you, this is like 2 years later. Mind you, she was talking about how like cheap Jeremy's dad is. mind you, that's like one of the first things that she says when she's like, yeah, meeting my mom and everything. And I'm just like, make it make sense. And then, like, also, too, they literally said, he's so cheap, like, 1,000,000,000 times. Like, I kid you not. Like, Jeremy's mom paid for everything that him and his brother needed. Like, everything. Even Jeremy would say that, too. Like, there was, like, really, like, no shopping or anything. The tissue, like, 1 square for pee, 2 squares for poop. You know how, like, when people, like, make jokes and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, if you really think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, like, if this is really, like, true, like, that's kind of, like, bad, because, like, why are you doing all that? Oh, and then guess what, too? Jeremy also said, like, oh my gosh, yeah, my dad is so, like, yeah, he was basically talking about his dad, talking about how his dad took he likes to repeat everything that, like, his mom says. He doesn't really have original ideas like that. You can just tell, like, when somebody's, like, coming up with their own ideas versus, like, them, like, copying. But, like, Jeremy was like, oh yeah, my dad took the SUV, and, like, his mom has even made jokes about this too. But, like, you can tell that they were, like, really serious though, because, like, but it is so messed up though. Like, you have, like, 2 kids and, like, you take the SUV to Chicago, and, like, you leave the 2-door car for the mother and your 2 kids. Okay, I guess. And then on top of that, like, it's not good with snow and ice, because, I mean, like, you know, I sat in the car, like, quite a few times, so I think I know, like, yeah, no, I don't go near BMWs on the road. I'm just like, I keep seeing accidents for, like, certain models, and I'm just like, like, on Instagram. Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know too much about cars, but I'm just saying, like, there's certain, like, you know, I'm just saying, it's just, some people like to be really showy, and it's like, you just never know when the universe wants to humble you, so let's just go the speed limit, okay, you know? You know what's so flippin' weird? I can never talk about, like, oh my gosh, if, for example, if, like, let's just say, if I thought someone was cute or whatever, or, like, oh, I have a crush on someone, the conversation would instantly, like, flip around, like, Jeremy doesn't want to hear anything about that, and I'm just like, that's weird. Because usually, like, Jeremy wasn't, like, my only, like, gay male friend from high school, because, like, I had, like, 2. I'm just saying, Jeremy was a different breed. Like, Jeremy, kid you not. Oh yeah, okay. So I have, like, here, I want to try and get down the entire list without, like, the side stories, but here it says can't and won't apologize. Yeah, we already got that one. Hostile when issues are brought up, always a fight. I kid you not. Yes, try and bring something up that this person has done. There will be a fight. There will be gaslighting. Gaslighting's also on the list. Ships the blame to others. Yeah, again, like I just said, ran into the house and blamed everything on their mom. And, like, the mom was like, you have to call your dad. You have to call your dad. Dad was so cheap. Literally, my mom was like, because this has happened before, she was, like, kind of, like having faith. Like, oh, yeah, like, they're gonna do what's right or whatever. Because they were like, oh, no, we don't want to do, like, insurance or whatever. But at the same time, he was trying to, like, get it done for, like, $500 or whatever. My mom was like, no, I don't want them going to, like, some janky place, because if we did that to them, they wouldn't like that. And then what's so weird is that, like, his mom also likes to shift the blame, so I don't even think that's, like, a personality disorder in, like, some of the cases. But then again, personality disorders are developed from, like, traumatic experiences from, like, childhood. Like, people develop personality disorders, so yeah. And, like, the mom also, like, doesn't really take accountability, because she kept saying, like, oh, I don't know why they put the tires on there, because, mind you, the damages were $1,700 with no insurance. If we filed for insurance, then everybody's insurance would go up. like didn't have his license yet, or I think he was about to get his license, or maybe he did, I don't know. But anyway, they were trying to like put him onto their insurance or whatever, but like it was gonna be super expensive. But it was like a discount because like for me, like I was like driving for like 3 years when my mom like got us like on hers, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, yeah. Jeremy's mom also like has like accountability issues though too, because she just kept saying like weird stuff. Like one second I would like message her, and then she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like contact your mom, and then my mom's like telling me like, oh no, she hasn't contacted me. It's like she's trying to dodge my call, and I'm just like, really? I just like contacted her, like she just said that she's gonna be like contacting you. It's like, yeah. And then that's why I was just like, and she kept saying, oh yeah, Jeremy's dad, he's like squeaky clean, like he would never like not pay or anything. Nobody even said that they were like not going to pay or anything like that. I kid you not. She was like flipping out like one day. She's like, oh my gosh, like now, like he said that he's gonna have to get Jeremy a cheaper car. That's when I knew something was wrong with the whole family. I was like, are you guys serious? He can't drive. He literally can't drive. And you're worried about him getting a cheaper car? Because his dad said he's gonna have to get a cheaper car. He literally, oh my gosh, nobody even knows this, but he literally has like the same like exact looking model with like 1,000,000,000 miles on it. Here's the thing, this is why I like cut them off. They're blocked. Because like you're saying, like if my mom had made me pay for the damages that Jeremy did, I would have like, nah, that's crazy. No, but this is why I was like telling her from the start. When people tell you things about their home environment or whatever, it doesn't matter, because like that is your property. Nobody was behind the wheel. It happened on their property. It was his fault. You need to like what do you, if this happened on the road, you think that you're gonna get away with that? You know how Americans are. They'll take you to court. If your dog poops on somebody's yard, like they will take you to court. Yeah. Okay, I'm just being dramatic, but like not everybody, but some people, and depending if they have the time and the money to be petty, they sure will. They sure will. Like my mom was telling me that like there's like a different story, and I'm like reading the messages, and I'm just like, that's surely not what she said. And then there was this there was this instance with Jeremy went to work at a store one time, but it was like Aritzia. He was like shopping with Chloe one day, and Aritzia was like, you know, like the cute store, they have like cute sparkly furry stuff, super girly like feminine clothing. Like, oh my gosh, when I get my figure right, I will be shopping there. But he bought a crop top because Chloe said, oh, you should get a crop top, and then he's like, oh no, my mom won't like that. And then so Chloe was like, oh my gosh, do you listen to everything that your mom tells you to do? Like, you should do what you want, it's your money. And you know what she said? Like, he literally, when he deflects the blame from himself, so it shifted onto her, but his mom enables this. And I literally heard her say with her own ears, because like they were arguing like one day, like oh yeah, because I was like hanging out with him that day, and like he was like, oh yeah, I was at the mall with Chloe earlier, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And she was just like, so you're just gonna listen to everything that like your friends tell you to do? So like if they jump off the bridge, like the parents love you using that, like, you know, like parents love using that whole thing. If your friends jump off the bridge, are you gonna jump off the bridge? It's like I was like, can we just like talk in detail, like seriously, like just make it make sense. And then no, but it's so funny because like the shots for the pandemic and stuff, yeah, a lot of parents are, you know how like they were like, oh my gosh, don't do drugs, don't conform to peer pressure. Why was that one of the main marketing tactics for said drugs? So like literally, and like it was just crazy to see how like some of the first people in line were the main people that were saying that they weren't going to get said items until like they knew more information. It was just crazy though too, because I'm just like, wait a minute, I kid you not, everything that was in that media at the time was like defying, like it was going against what we were being taught in school. And I kid you not, I wouldn't be surprised if they start changing the curriculum, because like they already are in some places, in regards to like history topics for sure. But we were learning about herd immunity, and I was just like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. So if herd immunity exists, why are they trying to force everybody to do such things? And then like the previous, maybe it was like last year, like around December 2019 maybe, they were like going super heavy on the Census Bureau. And they were just like, why are they trying to count and figure out how many people are in the house? They were trying to say, oh, it could really affect how much like state funding or community funding that your kid's school get, and the roads and all this other stuff. And it's like, you guys don't even fix the roads. Like, be for real. Be for real. Because like we have potholes and everything. Still. But yeah, but basically she was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Chloe is never allowed to come over here. None of your friends are allowed to come over here. Like she literally banned, like she was saying that like some of his friends can't come over, and he was like, you can't do that. Like, but technically she's the adult, and you're like, you know, isn't she paying the bills? Yeah, I just like, this doesn't make any sense. So instead of like, you're gonna sit here and blame Chloe, like what does Chloe have to do? I kid you not, one time he blocked me, and then he said that right, I said Rebecca, but Veronica, and he said, oh, Veronica took my phone and or whatever, and like he blamed the blocking on Veronica. I was like, Veronica does not pay your phone bill. Veronica does not, like, seriously, I would be highly upset if somebody had the nerve to block somebody on my phone. Who do you think you are? Yeah, you're probably just like over here just saying everything from your perspective, and your friends, the other people that you're telling stuff to, they're only gonna believe your side because they only hear your side and know your side. But like nobody's saying, hey, what happened? What's your perspective? And that's why oh my gosh, that's one pet peeve I can't stand, is when people like to sit there and like give like stank faces to people. And like, you know, oh my gosh, I say stank face because like, you know like some people give like a, like you can just tell like people have been talking about you or whatever. You can just see it's just like whole like mean girl energy, and it's like, and honestly like those people look so stupid because like you literally only know half the story, and like you can't see when your homie is lying or they don't know, like something is off. Like you can't be friends with that person and not know something is off, because something is off with you too. And like, come on now, 100% they're the victim. They're always the victim. They have to be the victim. Even when they're not the victim, they have to paint themselves as the victim. There's people on reality TV shows that love to play the victim. Saying those Kardashians, it's part of the PR people. Come on now. Seriously. No. And like when I watch reality TV show, because of the people I've met, and like I'm so like detailed into like the things, like you can watch a show and you can tell when people are exhibiting certain traits. Be for real. Be for real. People love to say, oh my gosh, you don't know that, you can't say that. Really? Courtney just called Kim a narcissist, and like yeah, and I only started watching the show because like I started getting into like personality disorders and stuff like that, and like yeah, so Kim definitely has those traits. She also too, like, didn't she, like, she's known to copy like everybody's stuff, and the stuff that she did to Taylor Swift too, like and then they had them edit the tapes and everything. Whatever went down like behind the scenes, and I mean like look what happened with Jordan. Like there was woman after woman that like there's like no loyalty at all. And I kid you not, I don't trust anybody that talks about family that much, because oh, guess what, Jeremy's mom always does that too. I kid you not, toxic bunch of people. Every single family that I've been around that like talks about like, oh my gosh, we love family so much, family. I kid you not, they're toxic. Pay close attention, because like everything is there. I get you not. They keep saying that they're gonna be in like psychology, sociology books or whatever, and I'm just like, well, I can see it because I mean, like, there's like enough information in there too. Because I mean, like, it maybe marketing really, um, but yeah, and a lot of people don't do research nor ask questions, so like that's why a lot of this stuff has been able to fly. In like not even just like with like the Kardashians or whatever, but just like pretty much like everywhere in general. A lot of times there's like a bunch of stuff is like made of lies, and you know they just push it out there and like, oh my gosh. I mean, like the shutdown. Are we serious? Like vax versus unvax? Seriously? Do you know how many people I've interviewed people for like school assignments? Because I was also taking like news production courses and stuff like that, and like media production type courses, and people really didn't care. Like they were just like, as long as they're like taking proper like safety measurements and stuff like that. But like that's just like you saying that there's only one way to fix something. It just shows that you are not aware of like other forms of medicine. And it's not just Western medicine. Like you have to understand this is a business that you're partaking in. So yeah, so like they're 100%. Yeah, they have to be 100% the victim and everything, and bring up what you did instead of focusing on the current situation. Yeah, like they have to always do that. But their mom, Jeremy's mom, always what Jeremy's mom enabled him in that situation, because all Jeremy had to do, and you can tell that he's been doing that like since forever, because all he had to do is say, oh, Chloe told me to buy the crop top. And then at first she was like saying something like, you know, pretty sensible, like a sensible parent would say, like, oh, well, if you're gonna jump off the bridge, why would you jump off the bridge in that instance? Like that makes sense, you know. But then like 5 seconds later, she's like shifting the blame to Chloe, and I'm just like, you're that easy to manipulate a parent, a grown adult? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like children are running the house. Children are running the house. And that's when like, you know, the stuff was starting to backfire, because like his mom was starting to like form like a strong disdain towards certain groups of like friends that have like a bad influence on him or whatever, because you know he's no longer listening. But I mean, be for real, I always say this, that's why I really got into research, because like when you come from like a family that like, you know, not even just like, it's pretty much everybody's family, like really, but like kids know when their parents are lying. Like be for real, be for real. And then like parents get mad when the child learns something from peers or school or observation of other people, or even like other like adult influences via teacher or members of the community or somewhere, somehow, some way, just somebody else. When parents no longer have that control, they don't like that at all. Consciously, a lot of parents actually, they instill roots for abuse to be easier for their kids, like as they grow older. Because I mean, like for example, like physical punishment. Like for example, how many kids grew up getting like physically beat with like a shoe or a belt or something like that, and then like after your parents are like, oh, he's like, you know, I love you, right? Who does that? Who does it? Like all the women that have been like, not even just women, like if anyone has been like physically abused in like a relationship or anything like that, is that not one of the main things that they say? Oh yeah, such and such would beat me for X amount of hours or minutes, and then they would come back and say that they love them. Subconsciously, you have told your child that that is okay, so when they see that, when their partner starts to do that at a certain point in time, most of the time they're gonna like stay, because like, well, I've already had this experience before with my parents, and like they love me, right? At least they told me they love me. Yeah. The world. And actually, like pretty much every culture has like some form of physical punishment too. It's not just yeah, but like television and everything will like be used to uphold certain like cultural like standards. Like you would think that certain households are more like peaceful than others, but in reality it's just like I can't really name a specific culture that has had like a perfect childhood. Like it really just depends on the parents, like honestly, because like a lot of parents are like really like harsh in certain like aspects, or can be perceived as really harsh. But like because nobody's like communicating like their reasons for doing stuff, if you just like talk and explain your reasoning, then like would you really need to enforce physical punishment? So okay, everybody has had an on and off aspect with them in their friendship. Very true, because like I named a bunch of people that they have had an on and off again relationship with. Typically happens in the friendship. I don't really know too much about like the it really depends on like if they're being manipulated or if they're the manipulator. Like it depends who's in control in the relationship. And if romantically with this person, because this person is, I believe, a covert narcissist, or like they have covert narcissist traits, which like a lack of empathy, projection, entitlement, hypersensitivity, paranoia, arrogance, resentment, passive aggression, insecurity, and a sense of justice. Yeah, that really sums that person up. That's Jeremy. Oh yeah, and so here I also have two. They don't have many friends. When you look closely, they're emotionally absent, and all of their exes are crazy. Pretty much. Oh yeah, they're so toxic, so crazy, but it's like, they don't respect your boundaries. Oh yeah. Definitely don't respect boundaries of other people. Like, be for real. Make subtle remarks and criticism. Yeah. One time, oh yeah, so I was like talking about this one guy at our school or whatever. I kid you not. Twice. Okay, there was this one guy that was like, I guess like he had like a really like cool like eye color and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he has like eyes that you can get lost in. Like his eyes are like so like cool or whatever. Like they were like blue. Like, you know, like people there, I've seen a lot of people with blue eyes, but like this person, like they had like their eye color, like I don't know, maybe is it really the eye color or is it the soul? Because people compliment my eyes all the time and they're like, oh my gosh, your eyes are so pretty, you know, just like, is it really the eye color or is it just like, you know how they say it's like the gateway to the soul? So like, are you saying I have a beautiful soul? They also can't read a room. They're not really emotionally intelligent either too. And I know it's the alleged narcissist Kim Kardashian's not emotionally intelligent too. So yeah. I don't know, I just wonder who is the PR manager. It's like, no wait, you either have bad PR team or like, this is not like celebrity specific, I'm just saying in general, because I see a lot of people and I'm just like, why would they let that person release that? Like, don't they have like a PR team or some type of, I don't know, person like helping them with their public persona? Like what's going on here? Like, who's this team? Like, are they like not experienced, or is the celebrity just like not following the recommended advice? Non-committal, they're the type to leave someone in a situationship or have dead relationships that are highly imbalanced. After a certain point in like the friendship or whatever, like they weren't really like trying to like hang out or whatever. I think that they like intended to like use me for a specific purpose, whatever that purpose is. Clearly wasn't like, that purpose was never like fulfilled or whatever. No, because like they just seem highly irritated after a certain point, again because I'm like not the neurotypical like person that they, I think some people are really like fooled by my energy. Like sometimes I may like come off as like, oh, like super like bubbly and like, oh my gosh, like ha 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 ha, but at the same time it's just like I wouldn't say like, I just say I'm not neurotypical. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not like, you know, the average, you know, I was telling you guys like a lot of people like lie to themselves and stuff like that. You should be honest with yourself. So it's so honest that people can't manipulate you or even attempt to, because it's just like, I see you. but you're trying to figure me out. Yeah. And I think that's what they were trying to do too, like figure me out so they can, like, you know, manipulate me. But it's just like, how are you gonna do that? Make it make sense. Do you not know who I am? I built this game. I'm kidding. No. It was like, why waste your time trying to manipulate people when you can just cultivate real friendships? Like, honestly, a lot of people follow trends and like they don't really think for themselves. Do you know how hard it is to find someone to have a conversation with that actually they're a self-thinker? I love talking with people that are like really strong in like what they believe. Even if they have, like, for example, like, let's just say I meet somebody that's like, you know, super religious. I identify as spiritual, but I would love talking to that person. Like, not like, you know, like you can have and people also like confused that like talking about like your belief system is like trying to, like, you know, you should be trying to convert people. Some people are really interested in what you know, other people are doing with their lives and like how they believe and like view the world, because like that is like that is a lens of how you see the world. Like your belief system is that lens. Why would it not be interesting to hear how a Muslim person or a Jewish person or a Christian or even just like somebody that's like spiritual views the world? Like, and there's different spiritual practices. Some are more of like organized, and some are more of like, oh, like intuitive, like cater to that person kind of things. Okay, they never admit they are wrong ever either. Like, so super similar to like them like never apologizing. Typically mean spirited. Be for real. How many times have we seen certain people get bullied on the internet? Like, let's be for real. Gun for a tongue. Constant betrayal, but once the karma catches up with them, they want to be consoled, not someone to call or console you when you have a problem. They may hug you and fool you for real empathy, but it's just them collecting information on you to use against you in the future as you're in that vulnerable moment. Be mindful. Yeah, they're always, you know, trying to get ahead and get over on someone. Super defensive, by the way, too. Very defensive. Attempts to make you feel bad if you don't want to hang out, or they feel you're about to say no but will leave you on red. They'll leave you on red to hang out with others on their time when they want, while not making the same compromises for you. That is like another thing though too. That's how you find yourself. I kid you not. Here's the thing. This right here though. This right here. I'm gonna reread this so like it's like sinks in the mind. Plus, like, I feel like I was kind of reading it a little bit slow, but sometimes when I think I'm reading stuff slow, I'm saying it super fast, so I'm like, yeah, I feel like I overthink things too much. I just need to be chill. So, attempts to make you feel bad if you don't want to hang out, or they feel you're about to say no but will leave you on red to hang out with others on their time when they want, while not making the same compromises for you. You know what the saying goes, if people really want to spend time with you and hang out, they will make the time. I kid you not. There's a lot of people that, like, they would this dynamic typically also plays out too in like romantic relationships, where typically like the female will make all the compromises to go and see the guy, and then, like, oftentimes she will end up pregnant somehow, some way down that line. I kid you not. But, in regards to, like, the friendship and stuff like that, that's typically a fake friend. Because I kid you not, I was kind of, like, doing this for, like, all of my friends. Because, like, I was the only one with a car. So it was just like, oh my gosh. And I would go pick them up. But I kid you not, as soon as all these other people got cars, nowhere to be found. They still wanted me to drive everywhere. Nobody was offering gas or anything like that. And they were kind of like making it a big deal. Like, I only rode with my one of my other friends, like my two like female friends or whatever, that were like from like high school, that I would like hang out with mostly. One of them, I only rode with her to like Wendy's, and like the other one, she got a car like my senior year, so like she was like a junior. And so like she would like, you know, like want to hang out like right away after school and stuff. And so like we would like, you know, yeah, so we would like drive around together and stuff like that. She yeah, plus like honestly she really didn't know her way around, because like, you know, it's different like when you're sitting in the back seat and your parents are driving, but then like you actually have to like, you know which way is home. Yeah, I just followed the blue line. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Like, I mean, of course, like when I'm in like certain places, like, yeah, which is really bad because like I probably should learn how to read a real map, because like for like emergency purposes that wouldn't be a bad skill to have. Yeah, just be mindful. Like you should like, you know, put, even if like they called a Uber or had their parents drop them off at your house, more like that would be like totally different, you know. Yeah, but like nobody was making those type of compromises, so like that's something to be mindful of, because like people are kind of like using you and expecting you to do everything. And I feel like because like I'm like really nice, people kind of like take that for granted, and then it's just like, but like if I'm like mean, like, okay, now I'm not saying mean, but like if I'm like truthful, then people are gonna assume that I'm mean. Like people just like love like trying to like use you and manipulate you, because like, you're not, even like family members, like I'm always like dropping people off, picking people up, taking people to like different places, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, why haven't you done this, why haven't you done that? But it's like, how am I supposed to get my stuff done if I'm always like out here running around for this person or that person? Well, let's be for real. So always manipulating or attempting to, wanted to hang out but needed a ride somewhere. Oh yeah, that's that one situation where I told you guys like they needed to be dropped off at the school, and like they were like really in a rush, they weren't even listening or whatever, and I think there was like some guy that they were trying to like hang out with or whatever, and it's just like, why didn't you just ask? Like, be for real. And even when they got a car too, nowhere to be found, radio silent. Like, be for real. Here is what's really interesting too. This happened like I said, the car thing was the last time I was in contact, but like this is like all kind of like all over the place. So one time they sent a Twitter meme, and it was about zodiac signs, right? And this is what I mean by this person, when you tell them information, they're collecting data in their mind, just enough to manipulate you. It's never gonna be like super deep, like the who, what, when, where, how, why. Like, I mean, like, that's me, that's not them. Okay. It was about zodiac signs and spiritually regarding a hookup and a slight imply of sexual connotations. And I didn't even like screenshot it, because it was just like saying something like, oh, like, I don't even know like what zodiac sign. It was saying something like the horoscope said that we should hook up or something like that. And I was just like, why would you even send somebody this? This is not even funny. And I think that like here's some tea, really. Since we're not name dropping, what was it? I don't think I gave this other friend a name though too. One day, oh yes I did, I gave her a name. What was her flippin' name? Now that, I hope this doesn't confuse everybody. The girl, what's her name? The girl that that was like supposedly bisexual, that had the best friend that lived a few doors down, that was like kind and sweet. Yeah, so the bisexual friend, oh my God, I forgot what name I gave that girl. She was also like really nice though too. But I kid you not, one day in the pool, they were in like the pool, and I just had like my feet in the water and whatever else, and like, you know, like they were just like talking about like stuff from like school and stuff like that, and like different like guys and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, okay. And so she literally said, I was like, oh, guess what, I literally heard her say like, guess what, I got my period, you're not gonna be a daddy. And I was just like, you guys are experimenting, like like seriously, like, oh my gosh. And I was just acting like I didn't hear anything, but I was just like, I heard that loud and clear. And then he was like looking, just like, shh, don't say anything. And that's why I'm just saying, like, this stuff is so weird. He wants his stuff to be private, but then you had no problem telling that girl's bestie about her like personal business. Like, you assume just because somebody has the title bestie, I'm like, he should know that of all people. He's fake as the world. Jeremy is fake. So I'm just saying. But Jeremy's always running a game on someone, so I'm just like, Like, you really thought that was okay? Like, do you not think before you do? But then again, it doesn't matter because, like, you know, fake empathy, always manipulating, like, yeah, it's not legit. Yeah, and then I was just like, okay, wait a minute. Then like, you're just like, wait a minute, is that like really a thing? Like, is that really true, or is that like some type of inside joke? But then I was just like, I don't know. But also too, when they okay, so like when the girls like they came out, I didn't even know that they were like hanging out that day though either. So like they were like changing in the room and stuff like that, and he just seemed like very uncomfortable, like with them changing, and I was just like, I never seen that for like a gay guy, and I was just like, like I said, my suspicions were like this person was like clearly like bisexual or something like that. But like, again, here's my thing about like the whole sexuality thing. Just because somebody like identifies as like bisexual or whatever, that does not mean that they have romantic feelings acquainted with like their sexual attraction.